I am so unbelievably excited to be able to play this game today. This is Tiny Epic Dungeons, a game I have waited a very long time to play. I got this in the Kickstarter campaign during the worst move in all of human history, and it's just been sitting on the shelf ever since then. And finally, I'm going to get to dive into this now. I love fantasy stuff, and so this has been high on my list of Tiny Epic games to give a try. And finally, today's the day. We are bringing in Team Dwarven Superiority is what we're going to call them. We have two different heroes here. We have Thordin Firebraid. He is a dwarf fighter. This is basically the character I would choose in any game right from the get-go, right? Give me an axe. He has a hammer, but give me an axe and a shield. And I don't know why it's even better if you're a dwarf, but there it is. That's like my main character in almost any like RPG that I make that has a party. This is going to be my guy. You can see here that he has stone stance down there in the right below his character portrait. You can see his special ability, which basically, if he's doing a melee attack, he gets to add defense to the counter attack by spending some focus points, which is nice. That's great and all, but the real sweet spot for this for me is the shield bash, right? This is the best thing in the world right here. I love shield bash. For some reason, doing damage with shields is my I guess my favorite thing. I don't know why I like it so much. I just love the idea of smacking something with a giant shield. It's just funny to me. And so Shield Bash is amazing in this game because, as you see there, it is a free action. It costs all of your focus, so you have to be ready for it, but it'll instantly kill a goblin, which is, yes, only 1 point of damage, but the real ticket here is that it's a free action, meaning you can do it while you're moving. So I can run into a room with this guy, turn a goblin into a fine pink mist, and keep going. I don't have to end my movement, so that's exciting to check out. And our second character, remember, this is Team Dwarven Superiority here, Uliessa, the Dwarven Cleric, and she can heal whenever she casts a spell. So that's pretty fantastic. She also has like better, maybe not like better base stats, but I guess like higher movement. She can move one further than Thordin, and she has one more defense point than Thordin as well. And she also has, a similar hammer, but she only rolls 2 dice for strength rolls, not 3 like Thordin here. She does have 3 dice for intelligence checks, of course. And like I said, heal is amazing, especially because if you look at it, she casts another spell. Then you get to trigger this, which says if you pay 2 more focus, you can heal yourself or an ally up to 3 spaces away without line of sight being a requirement for 4 hit points. That's incredible. So I'm very excited to give this game a try. Real quick, I just wanted to mention that Gamelin Games did release the appendix, and it is a 14-page PDF. I guess when this first came out, a lot of people, I don't want to say like complained, but I don't want to say it was unjust. I don't want to say it was. I mean, there's nothing wrong here. It was maybe a bit heavy on the iconography, and I think it was wrong button. A little off-putting. Here's the icons. A little off-putting and a little much, right? So there's the reason why I wanted to pull this up is so you can see just the amount of things that you have to keep in your brain here. And then there's not a whole lot in the way of like little gotchas and little fiddly rules. There's a couple things that you have to remember that might trip you up. And I think the biggest two would be the way the traps work and the goblin spawns work. I think those are probably the only real 2 things that you have to remember. Basically, a goblin will spawn only when a room is flipped over that shows a goblin spawn, not when you re-enter the room, but traps are kind of the other way around, right? So every time you enter a room with a trap, you have to remember to trigger the trap unless you've disarmed it. Now, that's fairly easy to manage. They did give you these gigantic disarmed trap icons, right? So if you go into a room that has a trap, you have to remember to check the card every time you run in there, and then until you go in here and disarm it. And for me, for whatever reason, these things feel gigantic. Like they should have just been the size of like the keyhole part, maybe. Because look at the dice. Look at the size of a die in this game compared to this thing, right? It's weirdly huge for a tiny epic piece. Right? On top of that, that doesn't show up so well. On top of that, look at the size of the minis, right? So we have this awesome mini here for Thordin, and look at his size compared to one of these things here, right? He's smaller than these like gigantic gears. So it's just weird because everything else is so tiny. Like look at how small this little heart is versus this gigantic, I've disarmed the thing. It's just weird, but whatever. The production of this game is just phenomenal. Look at these. Look at this. Look at how many minis are here. And they did that, because Scott Alms knows that in these kinds of games, like dungeon crawlers, minis are a big deal, and so he got minis into a tiny epic game. And of course, I love these. There's all of these screen printed meeples here. These are awesome. These are for the minions, not the goblins. The goblins have their own. They're over here. But these are a tray of minions and then some extra little tokens I didn't need for a 2-player game. It is 1 to 4 players. Here's the Board Game Geek page for it right there, so we can take a look. It is 30 to 60 minutes. I'm sure I'm going to go a little long, especially since this is going to be my first playthrough of this. But I have done a little bit of practicing. I've read the book twice. I've kind of made some moves here, so I feel like I have an idea of what's going on. So let's take a look here at how this is going to start. We are going to start in the dungeon here in the center right here. Now I don't know if it's going to work for you, because you can actually see on the overhead camera here pretty neatly that's the entrance. But I happen to have this like perfect 3D printed staircase thing that I love so much. The idea of just slapping this down right here, and our heroes descending into the darkness. We'll put Thordin here and Uliessa here. Boom. Hopefully you can tell those are the stairs still. I just like the way it looks. I think that's kind of a neat little thing here. Now, I'm going to try to keep all of this stuff on the screen so we know what we have. You'll note there's also an altar symbol in this game, and you have these little tiny tokens with the same altar symbol on them, and we're going to need to put that little token right there so that when we come to the end stage of the game in Act 2, we need to drag the boss through these altars, and there's going to be 2 more out there somewhere, and that is based on you fight minions based on the number of players there are in the game. So we're only going to have 2 in this game. I say only 2. They are bad. They are troglodytes. They are ogres. They are all these guys. There's a giant spider here. There's all kinds of stuff. So a gelatinous cube, it looks like a minotaur. They are the heavy hitters of the dungeon, not the goblins are the grunt force. They're the quantity over quality of the dungeon. So we're going to be seeing an awful lot of them. So let's get started here. What do we do? I say we have my little Cthulhu here I use to keep track of whose turn it is. So we're going to start with Thordin and send Thordin out. Now, the way this works is on your turn, we can move. We can perform a single heroic action which will kill your movement and remove it unless you gain more later, and then perform any number of free actions which you can use in the middle of walking. So that's like the very basics of it. There's not much more to it than that. Even the story is pretty thin. I'm going to pull it up just because it's that. The Goblin's coast is under siege by an evil that lurks in the nearby hills. A hero's call is sent out for a party of adventurers to cleanse the region of corruption. Delve deep into the dungeon to clear the catacombs of vile minions, evade magical traps, and defeat the evil source. But time is of the essence. Your heroes must move quickly through the ever-dimming corridors and complete their quest before the darkness consumes them and envelops the world completely. And what's even crazier about all this is that there's an entire map. I don't have the graphic for it here, but it might have been in the book. Oh, it's on the back of this too. This exists like in PDF form somewhere. I had it. I just don't have a button for it. There's a whole world map and everything. The world is called Augmoore, I think, something like that. Yeah, Aughmoore. So I don't know. I think it's super cool. I'm excited. We need to take Thordin in to do some exploring. Actually, that's not true. So on the torch card here, it does tell us that in Act 1 we have a free action we can do where we can just sacrifice 1 time. This torch here moves down the time track, and we can sacrifice 1 time, moving from the starting space for 2 players down to activate any minions and goblins, to reveal up to, basically any adjacent room to us. And I have a hard time saying that is not the best first move you can make, because you're guaranteed to get 4 places revealed out of it. Now, on the upside, you got 4 places revealed. We have no damage from being ambushed by goblins or minions. You won't find a minion this early in the dungeon. They're not until, a certain number of cards down. The way you construct this deck ensures that you don't find minions until you're like halfway through, and then the boss's lair in the last 4 cards out there. So, we won't get hit right away unless there's a bunch of goblins that then move to us. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to move that down, and we're going to start flipping some cards here. So there's a trap, and all we have to do is orient these in a way to where these pathways, line up. So that's fine there. One thing you do have to do, though, is put out the doors for these places, or I mean the doors, the other rooms out of the doors. And you are limited to a 7x7 dungeon grid. So that is one way to lose if you cannot build the dungeon anymore. So here is a portal with a goblin spawn, so that's a little unfortunate. Let's see what we have here. The Shooty Goblin. So that's going to be goblin number 1. Now you'll notice we only have 4 meeples for goblins here because, is that written on here? Winning and losing. Okay, we win by defeating the boss. If we lose a 5th goblin, or how we can lose, a 5th goblin must be placed but 4 goblins are already in the dungeon, or the torch reaches the skull at the end of the track. That's down here, and you can see, it's right here. Or the dungeon cannot be explored any further. There's no open corridors, and the lair door card has not been revealed. So that's a weird design choice, I guess. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. But again, like I said, it can only be 7x7, and your entrance has to be in the middle of it. You can't build it, like off this way. So that is something to keep in mind. So that's a dead end, but it is a portal room. So, here's another goblin. Oof. All right, so that one can go any direction. So we'll take goblin number 2 and put him right there. And that is a pokey goblin. So here's a good look at just how crazy some of the stuff is, like the icons, and this is why it's a little difficult to read, right? But it's pretty straightforward once you understand it. This goblin has a movement rating of 2, a defense of 5. Its counterattack roll is +1 per number of goblins in the dungeon, and that is a counterattack roll that is the same for melee attacks, missile attacks, and spells made against it. When it is killed, that's the blue helmet, and then the goblin head with a slash through it, I can gain a loot card or draw from the loot discard pile, or gain 5 focus. That's good to remember, actually. And then during the enemy activation phase, the whole bottom of the card says that they will move up to their movement to go to the nearest conscious hero and attack all heroes within a range of 2 for 1 point of damage. So that's what that says, right? It's not that bad once you know what it says. It's just a lot when you're first looking at it. So just to give you an example, they did here. Here's every single card. This is part of that 14-page appendix Gameland Games release, right? It's just everything written in plain English if you don't quite understand it, because some of it can be tricky. Just as an example, let's look back at the hero mats here. Uliessa here says, whenever you cast a spell, you may also spend 2 focus to heal 1 hero up to 3 rooms away. 4 health can be yourself. You might not know that it could be yourself to begin with, and you might not know what that little crazy, weird-looking symbol is that was around it, right? See that like diamond-shaped thing after the 3 in the middle there? That means you don't need line of sight. It's just, any pathway to you. So I think it's great because this cleared up so much confusion if you have no idea. And some of the items are nuts too. So some of the items, you just don't know what they do because there's a lot of icons there. You see them once, you might have to work through it for a minute, but if you need help just in plain English without a bunch of icons getting in the way, here they are. So it's pretty straightforward. So let's do the rooms for this now. So we're gonna have a problem here. We just explored a ton of the dungeon. I don't know if there's supposed to be any kind of like specific layout, and this is another trap room. And we can't go into it that direction, so we would have to tilt this either this way or that way or that way. I don't want to cut off my ability to go that way, so I think we're going to put this down and just place 1 more dungeon room card there, and I think we're in good shape. So now, unfortunately, what we have to do is, because we then activated all of the creatures here, they're going to, the way they act is they go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then minion first, minion second, and then in Act 2, there would be no minions, but there would be a boss. And so the goblins are going to act first. So this jerk is going to walk 1 space and attack both of our heroes for 1 point of damage each. And then this guy doesn't need to move because we're within range 1, so he's going to hit for 2. Oh boy, he's going to hit both of our heroes for 2 because this one says, here, that one says, so it's going to, the other one was move and attack. And it does move towards the closest hero first, so it's going to move into the room with us, I suppose. And then this here says move or attack, not move and. So since it is within range 1 of at least 1 hero, it can actually attack both of us for 1 hit point per number of goblins. So that's 2 more damage. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we just got wrecked on turn 1, and we haven't really done anything yet, but that's okay. Thordin here, now there's no penalty for leaving a room that has an enemy in it, okay? So we can just take off. So Thordin here is going to use one of his 3 movements to go into the room here with the... Is that the guy I want? No, the shooty goblin. I want number 1. Because this guy... And so here's... Okay, so we're not even going to move. We're going to do a free action of a shield bash. Basically, we're just spending all 5 of our focus, wham, to take this guy out, all right? So we have 1 dead shooty goblin here. And the loot says +5 energy or take a loot card. Now, I would love to take a loot card, but because we revealed 2 goblins here, I'm kind of upset that you shot me and my friend. So we are going to discard. I've got some things off camera here, including my phone. You heard an alarm go off a minute ago. Sorry about that. So we're going to say we took 5 energy as the reward. Now, Thordin can still move. That was a free action. There's nothing preventing me from going movement 1 and then blowing all of that again and killing goblin number 2. And this is kind of how the goblins work, right? They're quantity over quality. They all have 1 hit point. So since these are instant kills, they don't have any kind of retaliation or anything. We don't even have to roll for it. This is just, boom, a dead goblin. Now, this one's interesting. So the reward here is take a loot. Oh, goodness. That's awesome. I thought it was or. It's and. So it's take a loot and reveal a dungeon tile. So we're going to peel off a loot card here and see what we have. Warhorn of the Bear. See, here's a great example of I have no idea what this thing does. So it looks like, right away we know it's a set piece item because it says of the bear and it has a little animal bear face down there. We know it does a free action that says it looks like it costs 2 energy to target all enemies within 4 spaces. Oh, and maybe that's move them too closer to us. So let's see if we can find this on this giant list here. I'm sure it's here and I'm just not seeing it. Let's see. All heroes, all enemies. That's on the bottom there. Where is the move? There it is. Move a target enemy X number of rooms away. Move a target enemy X number of rooms away. Now, just for fun, so let's see if we can find it. Oh, it wouldn't be on this. It'd be on the legendary sets. There's the bear stuff. Trinket, free action. Spend 2 focus to move all enemies within 4 spaces, up to 2 spaces each, with you controlling their movement. See, that sounds a little bit different than the way that it's worded on the other thing. That says we can move them wherever. This does say we can move them, up to 2 spaces away. Move a target enemy X number of rooms away. It almost sounds like they have to go away, which doesn't make sense either. So that is nice for that little just added clarification there. So that's kind of a cool thing. What did I do? Oh, I left it up here. And then if we can get more of the bear stuff on melee attacks, like if we can get 2 of the bear items, we would get a +1 to our rolls, or all the way up to a +3 if we can find 4 things of the bear. Now this is a trinket item here. We see that little symbol there. We can only carry 2 of those. 2 spells, 2 trinkets, 1 garb, and then 1 item in each hand. Currently, this is us holding a hammer and us holding a shield bash for Thordin here. And if we were to get an item that we hold in our hand, it would overwrite the one of the 2. If I choose to hold it in the hand with the hammer, I would then lose the hammer ability and have whatever I have now. So this just kind of adds a nice little extra cool thing that we can do to move guys around. So that's pretty great. And we still get to flip over another dungeon tile now. And just for some clarification on this, I want to make sure that it's... Who was that we killed? The Pokey Goblin. Let's see here. We can kill, reward, discover 1 loot, and reveal 1 unexplored room anywhere in the dungeon. So that's important because I would think that it means an adjacent room, but that says anywhere in the dungeon. So Thordin's all the way up here, and we could reveal some stuff down here. But if Thordin is going to go out exploring this direction, maybe we just want to kind of peek, see what's out there. Hopefully not another goblin, but we'll see. Let's just choose this one to reveal. This room is terrible. This room is a dead end. So that room cuts off that place right there. It has nothing good or bad going on. It does have a free action of a skill check, 7 or better. I can't believe that we haven't rolled any dice yet. To loot, it looks like, from the discard item pile. We'll get there at some point. There better be some discarded loot here at some point. Look at the size of the stack of loot in this game. It's awesome. Of course, these cards are sleeved, so it's a little bit thicker than it looks. So Thordin has now moved 1 room and can still move 2 more. So I guess maybe we go up a room up here. Oh no, a trap. Okay. So here we are. So now we're in a trapped room. In this trapped room, let me just pull this up so you can see what that looks like. So that red stop sign, right? We have to stop. We're in a trapped room. We have to make a skill check, and it's a question mark. So we can choose the ability. So we'll say that we're going to do a strength check of 6. If we fail, we take 3 points of damage. Okay. I just realized. Oh, that's so funny. It looks red. It's a green check mark in reality, but because of the green screen, that check mark's coming through as red. And then we can, if we choose, we can try to disarm this trap as an intelligence check. And Thordin only has 1 die for intelligence, so he would have to roll a 5 or 6 to get that, which is tough to do. But then you could loot the room. So I think what Thordin's going to do is probably not do that. We are going to position that way. And then I believe we're going to make a strength check on this room just to see what happens here. So I love the way the dice work in this game too. It's super cool. So here's the skinny on it, right? So we roll 3 dice because he has a 3 strength dice right there, right? Now you get to only choose 1 die. But I get to roll 3, so I'm going to choose what do I need again? I need a 5, so I'm going to choose to use, this 5 as my, I need a 6. Okay, so we can say you can only choose 1 die, but 1s and 2s have a plus on them, meaning I can say I'm going to choose 5 plus 1 is a 6. This unused die has no little symbol on it, so nothing happens. But let's say this happened to be a 6. The unused die on a skill check, I would then heal 1 hit point. Or if I choose to, let's say this was the situation, right? The move would be to do this, because then I would have my 6 successful skill check, but I would then gain 3 focus, which didn't happen. So that's okay. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. So as long as we didn't take the 3 damage. So we succeeded, but the room is still trapped. Now, that's going to be the hardest thing, is to remember a trapped room. You have to check every single time you go into it. Now, Thordin has only moved 2 spaces, and I've been talking for what feels like 20 minutes now. So let's get Thordin one more room out here. And this is the farthest he can go in the dungeon. We're going to go here. Oh my word. Uh-oh. Well, maybe this wasn't a smart plan. So this card says I basically got ambushed. I take 2 points of damage, and I spawn a minion, which is really bad to have on turn 1, I think. And it's the ogre. Holy smokes. So the ogre also happens to be highly resistant to melee attacks. So here, let me put this up on the screen here so we can see it a little bit better. So this guy has 6 hit points, and he has +2 to his retaliation rolls. That's the +2 little orange square right there. He also has +2 defense if he's getting attacked, by melee, which is rough. That's the sword icon next to it. So if you shoot him or cast a spell, his retaliation is just a +2. And on his turn, you can see he rushes to you, right? So he can move up to 4 spaces away. He attacks his room for 2 damage. But boy, is it hard to break through that 7 points of damage. So we're gonna probably have to get some magic backup on that one there. So we're gonna take and that's right, we have a cool, sweet looking little screen printed meeple to put out there. Boom. All right, so unfortunately, Thordin's turn is now over. He can't move. The only thing that we have going for us at the moment is that he's not going to get his butt kicked just yet. So at the end of your turn, you have to move the torch and activate whatever it says. So in this case, it says spawn a goblin. So we managed to kill everybody, so we're going to spawn a goblin there. We're going to draw from the goblin deck here, and we now have a boomy goblin. So a boomy goblin can attack up to 2 rooms away. That's terrible. And do 2 points of damage to all heroes in there. So that's not good. Also not good is the situation that Thordin is in here, right? We have 2 hit points. Thordin is going to get smacked for 3 or for 2 by that ogre, so we need to do something about that. So I think what we're going to do is Uliessa has the research ability, right? I don't think I've talked about that. The research ability says spend 4 focus to draw a spell card, right? And I think all or most spellcasters have that. So it's a free action. She goes from 7 to 3 focus and draws a spell card. Dungeon Scry. This does not help me. I need a combat. That sounds like it's just looking at tiles. Yep. So cast a spell of whatever you want as the check, right? So she would obviously do an intelligence check because she gets to roll 3 dice for it. Then we need a 5 or better. Then we would spend 2 more focus to flip a dungeon tile. I guess that's anywhere in the dungeon. Does it say that somewhere else? I just wonder, just for clarification, it just says reveal a face down dungeon card. This is from the actual manual. So if we go to the spells, let's see what Dungeon Scry says. And reveal an unexplored room anywhere on the map. Right, okay. So we need to make this happen somehow, but we need to make it happen a little bit closer to our man Thordin there, right? Because he needs to be within 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, he's there. So she could stand right here and cast Dungeon Scry so that we can find out, so we could heal him for a little bit because he's about to get smacked. Now, unfortunately, casting a spell is a heroic action. That's the little blue hand symbol there. And we can only do 1 heroic action per turn. I was hoping for something I could use to shoot the ogre or blow up a goblin and then still heal Thordin because he's going to get hit no matter what. So, unfortunately, we're going to do Dungeon Scry. So we're going to do that as an intelligence check. We need a 5 or better. Oh, dear. Okay, so that's a 3. So here's what we got. We got a 3. So we have our 5, and we have an unused one there. Now, she is going to gain the 1 focus from the unused 3 first, which is going to put us at 4. Then, since we succeeded here, we have to spend 2, 1, 2, to do... Oh, that's right. I forgot all about this. Okay, so there's a red thing on here, too. So hold on. That red thing is... it's right in the middle there, right above free actions. Perform a one-time action. Perform 1 additional heroic action. Cannot be used multiple times in a single turn. Maybe we're going to be okay. Okay, so we succeeded at that. So we get to flip over a dungeon tile. Now, I'm afraid of that, so I'm going to flip down here. Oh, by the way, I forgot to put a dungeon tile out there. So we're going to flip this, and unfortunately, it's going to spawn us another goblin. This is a boomy goblin. Let's put the dungeon tiles out here before I forget. There we go. Did my whole thing shift a little bit? 1, 2, 3. I did, because that one's just barely off the screen. These were supposed to be a little bit lower so that everything fit on the screen for us. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so we revealed our tile. Nobody takes the damage from that. This is a valid placement for that room still. And where did my thing go? Now we can move or do a heroic action. Now, we're also not done with the spell. We're going to pay 2 more focus to do our special ability of 3 rooms away. 1, 2, 3. Thordin gets healed for 4, so Thordin's going to go all the way up to 6 hit points. Whew! He's going to survive that ogre attack, which is coming. But now we have to deal with what's going on here. She needs to be able to live. It looks like the boomy goblin is going to get to shoot her no matter what I do next turn, because I can't get there and attack it, I don't think, right? What does that say? Perform a one-time heroic action. It looks like it has to be done right this second. So I guess we have to just attack the guy right here. Now, she has a hammer, but only 2 strength dice. So hopefully we can get through the boomy... Oh, they're both boomy goblins. Hopefully we can get through the boomy goblin armor of 4. So basically I need to roll a 5 to kill it. We need to get a 5. Oh, happy day. Look at that. Okay. So the way that this works is we roll a 5, so that punches through the 4 defense, and we do the leftover as damage. That's 1 point of damage. Great, we killed this guy. That is 1 dead goblin. Now, we still have this, so we gain 2 focus, which is great because we have none, and since it's dead, it doesn't get to counterattack with the red die. So that's all good. Now we can choose an equipment or a spell card as our reward. So let's take... Oh, man. Let's take an equipment. Let's just see what we get. Long Sword of the Lion. Okay. I can dig that. Look at that. So that's going to replace her hammer, right? That's going to go in this slot here. She still only gets to roll 2 dice because there's no additional, strength die on there. But all strength rolls, well, not all strength rolls, all strength attacks with this weapon are going to be +1 right off the top. And then I can pay 2 more focus to get another +1 to the roll. So suddenly... she can do a lot more damage now with this long sword that we have here of the lion. So unfortunately, we don't have any set pieces, going yet, but we have all of 2 pieces of equipment, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, she can still move, technically. We haven't moved yet, right? So if you look at this, we can perform any or all of the actions in any order. So we can move. So far, we've just performed 1 heroic action, which gave us another free one, right now. So we can still do some free actions. I don't think we have enough to do any free actions unless we go somewhere. Like we could run over here and spend our 2 focus to teleport to an explored room, but I don't know where I would go. If I go in here, I'm making trap rolls, and I don't really want to do that. I don't want to deal with that. What is up here? Of course, I thought it was a great idea. Oh, look at that. How funny. I didn't even notice. And of course, it's because my 3D printed thing got in the way. This room where Thordin did his shield bash of 5 to kill a goblin, the ability in the room is to just instantly kill a goblin, but for only 4. So had I noticed that, but again, this thing was right in my way, and you could probably see it, yep. But from my angle, I'm looking through it, and I couldn't see it. How funny. He technically would have 1 more energy had I did that, as opposed to his special ability. Oh, and here I thought it was so cool. I had these little traps I 3D printed and painted up to, and I thought about putting them out here, but I couldn't get to them quick enough, so I'm just going to do my best to try to pay attention to where all these trap rooms are. Now, she won't be able to disarm a trap because we've already done a heroic action, but we can still move. The problem with moving... No, we need to move. We need to move 1 space, and I'll tell you why. How far... Yeah, we need to move 1 space. If I move here, I have to do a trap check, and... Well, maybe that's not so bad. If I have to do a trap check... That's an altar room, so I'm going to put that little token on there. Basically, I want to get out of range of this guy. And this guy, when he activates in just a second here, it activates, is going to move 1 space here and then attack anybody within 2... Oh, she has to move. So I'm going to move there. Okay, never mind. I can't count. So she is going to now make a skill check versus intelligence, which is 3 dice, and I need a 6 or better. There we go. Should be easy enough. Look at how beautiful that roll was. So we actually have an option here. We can do that 6 or that 6 for a success. Basically, this comes down to, do I want to gain 2 focus or do I want to gain 1 energy, or 1 hit point? So let's just do the +2 energy. So we're going to use that and not use the +1, which gives us 2 more focus. So there we are. Trap didn't kill us. That was a bit of a risk, but it's, this was a guaranteed 2 points of damage coming to us. So now, Uliessa here, oh, it's done. It was her turn. She's done, so we're going to move this down. We'll go back to Thordin, but we have to activate everybody here first. So this goblin says, move or attack. Now, nobody's within range, so this goblin's going to move all of 1 space to that room there. They don't make trap rolls, they just move. Then the ogre is going to move and attack, but there's already somebody in his room, so he doesn't need to move. He's just going to hit Thordin for 2, 1, 2, takes Thordin down to 4. It goes right back to us. Now, I know that was a really long first turn, but look at how much of the dungeon we got explored, just doing this very basic stuff here. So now we have the problem of how do we handle this ogre. Uliessa here is in a bit of a pickle. She does not have a damaging spell, which we really need, because spells do direct damage. They don't take the defense into account. So we need to figure out a way to break through. We need to do a lot of damage. Basically, Thordin would have to roll... ideally, if Thordin rolls a strength check of 6 plus 2 plus 2, right? Let's say that we had a perfect roll. That'd be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage, but the thing has a 5 plus 2. That would do 3 whole points of damage if I had a perfect roll, because it has a defense of 7 against melee attacks. So now the chances of that happening are slim. One thing I haven't mentioned yet, or 2 things. One, we can always rest. If you rest, it's +3 hit points, and it actually says it on the cards. It's easier to see it there on the screen. On the bottom left, right above hammer, you can rest as your action, as your heroic action, and gain 3 hit points and 5 focus, which is nice. And right above that, as a free action, as many times as you want, you can modify a die roll up or down 1 for the cost of 2 focus. Our big problem here is that Thordin has 0 focus, and I wonder if resting might not be a bad idea to bring Thordin up to maximum everything, right? This will put us at 5 and 7 hit points. I think that might be our best bet, and not move. Just stand right there, staring down that ogre. So Thordin's done. We're going to move the torch down again. Nothing happens. Okay, so now we have another problem here. A goblin's about to spawn here, and we still have a very well healthy and alive ogre here, and Uliessa can't do anything. So she can She can perform. She can walk into the room and attack, and her attack is only 2 dice though, but it will be with an automatic +1 to it. I think that that's going to be our only real good option. So let's see what happens if she moves in here. Because if I spend 4 points on trying to get another spell, she's not going to have any focus unless I rolled incredibly well, which might not happen. I might be better off just rolling 2 dice, but then she's going to get counterattacked for sure, and she doesn't have the hit points to do so. So perhaps not. Perhaps our best bet is to spend all 4 points to draw another spell card. I need some damage. Delver's Luck. So this is not a damaging spell. This is cast a spell with a skill check of 7, and then pay 4 focus, we have 0, to do some other skill check with a +3. So that could be pretty great. We would cast the spell and then do a melee attack with a +4 because of her sword as being +1 as well. So that's an option for later. Unfortunately, we can't do that now. So that was a free action, though. That was not an actual action. Her action might as well be to rest too, just so we can attempt that next time. So she's going to go to 5, and +3 puts her at 6. Okay, so not a very exciting turn. Very, very fast, though. So now we're done. We're going to move the torch down, and another goblin spawns. And you always want to pull these goblins the lowest number first and work your way through. Okay, so we now have a stabby goblin, and they don't do any movement this turn, but next time everybody's going to activate. So Thordin, now that you're feeling better, what are you going to do? I think we're going to have to attack the ogre and see what we can do for damage. Let's move to... The sheet says we get to roll 3. Yeah, I really can't do anything. I mean, I guess I could move him away, but that's not going to do us any good. He'll just move to us. So let's just do an attack. Let's just straight up see what happens. Okay, basically we needed 1 really high die and then 2 2s, and we got not that. So unfortunately, this is kind of a bad roll for us. So let's see how this works out. So if we use the 6, the defense of 7. So we need at least 1 + 2 in there. And to do all of 1 point of damage, I mean, this was a bad move, but I didn't have any other choice to get any damage going on this guy. So he has a defense of 7. So if we pay 4 points to modify the 4 down twice, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now Thordin's at a 1. We modified that to that. So now we have 8. So we have an 8 versus a 7, and he takes 1 point of damage, and now he gets to attack me back. So he has a 3 + 2. So he attacks me, he has a Thordin with a 5. Thordin's defense is 4, so Thordin is going to take a point of damage. Now, I know that was not great, but we have to move that needle, somehow. So Thordin's going to end his turn now. He did his 1 move. He could run somewhere, but we need to stand there and fight this guy because these minions are tough. So let's go ahead and say that he is done. We'll move the torch down, and now everybody activates. So the stabby goblin, number 1, here's going to go first. He's going to move or attack in his room. So he's going to go up here to the first available person. The boomy goblin is going to attack within the range of 2, 1, 2. So he's going to move only 1 space and not attack. So the goblins were not so bad. However, again, Thordin is going to get punched for 2. Your defense does not come into play when we're working on the activations of minions or goblins. This bottom thing here is just straight you take damage. Defense has nothing to do with it. So that was the enemy phase. Let's go over to Uliessa again. So now she's in a room with a goblin. We don't want to be there. We don't want to deal with this ogre for too much longer, but we can't hit him ranged. So we have no choice but to move her into the room and then roll just 2 dice against the ogre. I think that's our only option, right? Well, no. We have Delver's Luck. We're going to cast that spell instead. Let's do Delver's Luck, right? So this is going to cost us... Boy, we better succeed, because if we don't roll well enough here, then we're going to have the problem of needing to spend dice, or focus rather, to cast a spell that we might not be able to afford. And if we can't afford it, we're screwed. So this is a bit of a shot in the dark. What did I need? A 7, so we're screwed. So we got a 4, 5, 6 on a 7 skill check. So the way, so we pay 2, 1, 2, and we could make, a 1, a 2. Is that our best bet? That'll just barely give us 7. If we spend 2 more, so we need to have at least 4 points somehow. If we spend 2 more, 5, 6, no, we need a 7. 5, 6, 7, we could gain 2. We could be at 3. Basically, we screwed up here. She misses her attack. There's just nothing we can do. There's no way to do it, right? So we're not going to even bother spending the points. She failed her skill check of the spell cast. And now we're going to get, well, it wasn't an attack, so there was, so this didn't even need to be rolled. This was just trying to cast a spell. We never actually attacked. Yeah, there's no, we failed it. So she fails her turn. We could basically do a free action at this point, which there's nothing to do where we're standing. We're just going to end our turn, I guess. There's nothing we can do. We failed our spell check. We only could get to a 6, no matter how we rolled that. That was worth it, right? It wasn't worth spending the points in any way to try to make that a successful 7, because then we wouldn't be able to pay for the spell itself. So, yeah, that's a bummer, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes the dice just aren't with you. So she is completely done now. We're going to move the torch down, and again, nothing happens here. So let's move on to Thordin, who, again, we don't have the rolls to make this all that worthwhile for him. He would have to roll absolutely perfectly. So again, I think we're just going to rest and give us 3, and 5 more puts us, at maximum. So Thordin is going to be done. We're going to lower the torch, which spawns another goblin. So suddenly this is looking pretty bad for our heroes. Let's see what we got here. A stabby goblin. All right, so we need to, have a little bit better shot at this now. Okay, I guess all we can do is attempt to do what we did last time once again, right? So Uliessa is going to cast Delver's Luck. Come on, I need some good rolls. Oh man. Okay, so we can make this work if we spend 2 focus to adjust this 3 to a 2. Is that what I want? Do I want to make the 3 a 2? Right? God, where is it? There it is. So if I make the 3 a 2, we have a 7. That's a successful magic casting Delver's Luck skill check. She's going to gain the 1 mana, or the focus for it. That's how we get to 4. And then we're going to spend all 4, so she's at 0, to now then do... it's a habit to roll this red die, so I'm just going to keep rolling it if I need it or not. Now she gets to do a different skill at +3, because we succeeded at our luck roll, basically, our casting our lucky spell. But because we're going to do this, it is also at a +1. So we are going to roll only 2 dice that come with a built-in +4, which is still not enough to overcome his 7. But let's just see what plays out here. Okay, so if we take a 5, if we take the 5 and add, what did I say, +4, we have a 9 minus 7 is 2 points of damage to the ogre. So the ogre is down to 3 hit points. This thing is an absolute beast. And then it rolled, what, a 4? So its 4 is going to do 4 plus 2 is 6, hit her for 1. Her defense is 5, so it's going to hit her for 1. Oh, gosh, this thing is really tough. This thing is really tough. I could have done another point of damage if she had a little bit more focus, but we don't have 2 more focus. We were barely squeaking by as it is. So she is going to end her turn sitting there, and now everybody's going to activate, and here comes some punishment. We might have some dead guys here. So the first thing is the stabby goblin, number 1 up here, is going to need to move. He will only attack in his room, so he's going to go there. Number 2, the boomy goblin, number 2, is going to move or attack 2 spaces away. 1, 2. Oh, so maybe not. He's going to move only 1 space. So now he's within range, but for this turn he's not within range. And a stabby goblin moves 4, so this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, boom. And now we're all holed up in this room, and we have no AoEs to be found. The ogre here is going to attack in the same room. I just want to double check here what this says. Is Ogre on this board anywhere? Let's see here. +2 to enemy die. Defense increases by 2. Move 4 rooms towards the nearest hero. Then all heroes in the room at the Ogre lose 2 health, right? So that's everybody's going to take 2 points of damage. So 1, 2, down to 5. 1, 2 from 5 to 3. So the Ogre just smacked us around. And here's the other big problem. We are down to 1, 2, 3, 3 turns. We have to kill this Ogre or we lose the game. So Thordin here... God, and we're going to be taking so much damage here in just a second, right? We have a... This guy's going to hit for 4 damage, and this guy's going to hit for 4 damage, and we still have the Ogre to contend with. And the Ogre can move, so running away isn't going to do us any good. So, I think that let's take a look at this again here. No, that's not it. Let's take a look again at this. Maybe legendary equipment is legendary for a reason. Spend 2 focus to move all enemies within 4 spaces up to 2 spaces each with you controlling the movement. So if Thordin here burns 2 focus and blows his war horn to scare away these 2 goblins 1, 2 spaces away. Wait a second here. I want to make sure I get this exactly right. Move all enemies within 4 spaces up to 2 spaces each. So we can actually push these guys back a little bit. Even this guy can go back 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can move this guy back. These 2 came from here, I believe, right? So that pushes everybody back a little bit. And that was a free action for Thordin. So that's okay. And then he can still attack this Ogre. We need to keep them away from the Ogre. We can move the Ogre, but that's not going to help us any. We need to kill the Ogre. So let's... Oh, here, this is a better roll. Thordin doing it. Okay, the other thing we could have done is have Uliessa heal if she had more focus, but she doesn't. Okay, so Thordin here now has an 8, which again is only going to be 1 point of damage. But he does have that. So what we potentially could do here is spend 2 focus to turn the 3 into a +2. I love this system. I love it. Okay, so now Thordin has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wham! Right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we have a defense on the Ogre of 5 + 2 of 7. That's 3 points of damage, friends. Boom. That is 1 dead Ogre. Now, the way that works is that you take your little heart that you were using to keep track of them and put them up here. This unlocks the door. This unlocks the dungeon door, the lair, or the boss lair door, wherever we find it. We haven't found it yet. So we now have to gain some awesome rewards for killing an Ogre. That was intense. Those guys are no joke. Okay, so what we're going to do is the rewards are right here. So it says the first thing is +6 time, right? So we're going to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, where it lands does not trigger. Only moving down does the torch trigger anything. So that was fantastic. But we still have to find another minion in here somewhere. And this, it's hard to see, but it basically just sums up to take a loot or a spell twice. Right, so you have the option. I could take 2 loots, I could take 2 spells, I could take a loot and a spell, whatever. And they are the full color graphics. I never explained this because it hasn't come up yet, so I better explain it now. If you look on the right-hand side of the icon reference over there, you'll see that there's the loot icon and the spell icon, the little like brown bag and the blue spell thing. It says, discover a new loot spell card, draw from the deck or from the discard row. And if they're grayed out, it's pick up a loot or spell card from the discard row. We don't have any discarded anything yet, so I've just been drawing from here, and here I'm in the way, and here, right? I've just been drawing from them. You could choose not to take some loot and just discard it, and now there's a discard pile that a different hero can go through, and I think that was the best thing that they could think of to basically manage the loot system in this game, because there's, loot is part of a dungeon crawl, so you want lots of loot. The problem with lots of loot in a game like this that plays in like an hour, you can't get through it all, and you can't make, your set pieces without churning through some gear. So we're not exactly moving through gear super fast here, but we've got 2 pieces of loot and 2 spells. So I think that Thordin here is going to take Ring of the Phoenix. This is a spellcaster item, it looks like. So that says when you cast a spell, an additional and succeed. What's that little target icon? Is that target all enemies? I feel like that's target all enemies. Yeah, the very bottom left there. Effects apply, to the targeted enemy or hero. Oh, okay. -1 hit point. So you do an extra point of damage casting a spell. So here's a good example. Thordin doesn't have any spells. I'm going to discard this, right? We're just going to have a little discard pile. And, well, I better put it somewhere where I don't accidentally think I have it. Let's just put this in the discard pile. And then we're going to draw a second piece of loot. Oh, man, how funny. So we drew a second useless piece of gear for Thordin, right? So that ruby figure says roll an extra strength die. He already has 3, and you cannot go to 4, and you cannot go below 1. So we have 2 pieces of useless gear that Thordin drew, but both of them would be good for Uliessa, our champion? Okay. Oh, man. So I guess Thordin can now... Oh, and we have a dead ogre here. Let's get you off the board, buddy. So Thordin can move now if we need to, because he already did his heroic action of attacking, and we can't rest, which is also a heroic action. My fear is that if we move... if we move, we're going to uncover either more goblins or... something I'm just not ready to deal with yet. So I think that maybe Thordin's just going to call it good and stop right there. We're going to lower the torch and nothing happens. Now, Uliessa has nothing going for her right now. She really needs to rest, but she also really needs to kill some stuff to get this. Now, the bigger problem I have here is I can't kill 2 goblins in one blow. I don't have any kind of like AoE or anything for her. So maybe she is going to do our exploration. So one more little bit of information here. Oh, there happens to be 4 cards left in the unexplored dungeon cards. So I know we didn't go over the setup here, but I know that the layer card is in one of these, right? Because the way that you build the deck is you take the boss layer card and put it with 3 room cards and shuffle them up and put them at the bottom. Then you take 3 cards per player, right, per character, and shuffle in... So in our case, there's 6, right? It's 3 per player, and then minion cards per number of players. So there's 8 cards shuffled together as the middle stack, and then you take, I think it's 9 for 2 players, just plain room cards and put them on top. Remember, we explored these early on. We didn't explore them, but we laid them out early, so there's a good chance that the other minion is like down here somewhere. So it might not be up here, and that might be a problem for us. So we do have Dungeon Scribe, but we certainly don't have the focus for it, which is a bummer. So maybe we just do this the old-fashioned way. Uliessa is going to come over here, and she's going to uncover a trapped room. Oh, dear me. So she's going to make an intelligence check. We need a 7. Come on. We got it. No, we didn't. We rolled a 6. We failed. We failed. Oh, dear. Okay, so she's going to take 2 points of damage, which brings her down to 1 hit point. And I do believe that that'll end her turn if she fails it. I can't remember off the top of my head now if you fail a trap. Otherwise, we can just walk through. There's a whole section in the rulebook, and I haven't failed, so I haven't ran across this yet. Trap. Each time a hero enters this room, you must attempt to evade by immediately performing the trap skill check listed. If the check is successful, there's no effect. If you fail, trigger the trap and take the amount of damage shown in the X box. After resolving the skill check, regardless of the outcome, you may continue your movement or attempt a disarm trap action. So, that's good to know. The problem is, it's a strength check. If she tries to disarm it, and she only rolls 2 dice on a strength check because we don't have the ruby figure. But it's not like something bad happens, and the only other thing that she can do is move to another room. And I feel like maybe we just try to make the roll, right? We need a 6, though, with her. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's good thinking or not, because as much as I would love to get the loot for it, it's more likely that she's going to fail. And so perhaps instead she just lays in this trapped room and rests, right? That's all we can do with her. She didn't do anything else this turn, right? No. So we'll gain 3 hit points. Takes her from 1 to 4 and from 0 to 5 energy. She's going to end her turn. We're going to move the torch down and spawn, a 4th goblin. So here we have 2 problems. 1, I don't have the remaining goblin cards shuffled yet. And 2, remember our fail condition is having a 5th enemy, right? So, we royally messed up, because what we should have done is had her go into this room, attempt to disarm it, so that Thordin can come through it and not worry about it. And then so that we can we can do a little house cleaning, a little goblin cleanup crew here, right? Okay, so we have a fourth goblin now of a boomy goblin. Oh, God, and they're all going to activate in a second here. So Thordin, you might just have to suck it up, buddy, and go 1 and make a strength check on a trapped room with no way to re-roll. 6? What do I need? A 6? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so we're going to use a 6, and we got a +1. Focus gives us 2. Okay. I'm not going to attempt to disarm it with him because I need him to move here and to slaughter some goblins. Now, we really need to kill... God, we're going to die. I mean, he's going to get knocked unconscious. There's just no getting around that. It's too bad I can't kill all of the goblins. I might not even be able to kill... Oh, well, maybe we're not out yet. Maybe we're not out yet. Let's first start with an attack roll, and we're going to go up against goblin number 1 here, Stabby. Do we go against Stabby? No. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's go against a Stabby goblin. Trying to figure out the best way to do this here. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah, it's not gonna matter. Maybe... No, we go against this guy. We go against a boomer. Where's the boomy goblin that's in here with me? 4. Okay, we're gonna go against this guy. We're gonna attack this jerk. Right here. Pow. Okay. He has a defense of 4. We rolled well enough, okay? So this symbol is your defense. Basically, if I don't kill him, he gets to attack me back, and that symbol is a 4, right? It's his attacking defense, which is right. Oh, you can't see it. A 4. I missed my little column I had cut out here during Final Girl. It was a great way to put cards and dice up there and not have them get in the way of the gameplay. Okay, so we're attacking a boomy goblin for 4, so I'm going to use this 5 to kill the boomy goblin. I mean, that's that, right? End of story. We do 1 point of damage to the boomy goblin, which is goblin number 4. So you come back out. That gets us some breathing room, but it also gets us a loot or a spell card. I'm going to take another loot card here. Let's roll the dice. Oh, and let's not forget this. 3 energy gain here. So that puts us back to maximum. That's very important. Okay. So, of course, I drew something that is more magey and gives a bonus to somebody with a something of the Phoenix already, and there's already a Ring of the Phoenix out in the discard pile. Oh, God. I mean, maybe we equip it just so we have it because it lets us teleport, it looks like. Is that what that little symbol is there? That is... Portal. Teleport to any revealed dungeon card, right? So that gives us the ability to teleport, which is phenomenal. Except I don't have a problem with that just yet. I mean, we have a portal out here. There could be a portal here or there for all I know. There are unused cards at a 2-player game. These don't get shuffled in, so I don't know what those could possibly be. Oh, dear. What do we do? Do we discard it so that she can pick up that? Everything here she can wear and could use and benefit from and would make her so much better. Well, maybe we just do it. Maybe we just discard the robes. Poor Thordin can't find a piece of gear to save his life, but Thordin does have... That's a bummer. I was hoping Thordin had the guy out here who we could... Oh, we can kill this guy for 4. We're in the room. The room I forgot about before. So we could spend 4 stuff, 4 focus, just to kill a goblin as a free action. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we're going to kill... See, the problem is I want... Hold on a second here. I don't know if that's the best move, right? Because if I kill one, what do I gain? I'm stuck in a room with a goblin that's gonna blow me up here in a minute, right? We could kill the stabby goblin, or if we use our warhorn to push these guys away, right? We could move this guy out of range. We could move these 2 guys back here. So 1 and 3. These 2 guys would be back here. They would have to move. So let's do that. So we're going to spend 1, 2 focus to move these 2 guys back here and this guy back 1 more, right? That way they can't get to me because we can move them. The Warhorn of the Bear says we can move them up to 2 spaces. So they're here. They go 1, 2, and their movement will put them right back with me, but that's okay, I think. I think that's okay. I mean, it's certainly better than where I'm at. Okay, Thordin, you are done. We're going to go here and activate the goblins. Now, our other problem, we're running out of time, and we don't know where the other minion is yet. So, activating goblins. Number 1, this guy has to move up to 4, so he's going to go right back. This guy can move 1, so this is 2, so he can move here. And then this guy, they're all move or attack, not move and attack. So then goblin number 3 is going to move 4. So all we did was delay that, but that's okay. So now, Uliessa, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're out there on your own. You're sitting fairly pretty with, your stats here. We need to find the other minion. And we need to kill a bunch of goblins. And we need to disarm a trap. So we need to do all of these things. We need all of this stuff needs to happen. If we do Dungeon Scry, that might become our new best friend. Okay, so let's have her move 1, 2. Oh, this is terrible. She has to do a skill check, so I need a 6 or better. Oh, look at that. Okay, so she got a 6. And then I gain all of my focus back, it looks like. That's good, right? If we use the 6, we still have those. Okay. So now, do we disarm that trap? Or do we... No, I think we have to keep moving, right? Because she can move 1, 2, 3. She can move into here. Now, she can cast... Oh, this is so weird. We're going to have her cast Dungeon Scry. And the reason we're doing that is because it can then flip us a tile and let us attack. And at this point, I don't want to have to run through here if I don't have to. So let's do Dungeon Scry, which is we're going to do a spell check, or intelligence check, rather. Oh, God. Are you serious? I need a 5, 2, 3, 4. Are you serious? That was awful. So let's go. Let's spend 2 to make the +2 a 3, I guess. So there's 5 for Dungeon Scry success. I can't believe that was such a bad roll. Then we're going to spend 2, 1, 2, to flip over a tile. Let's just flip this tile. Oh, no! So there's the lair. We know how to get to the boss now. But now we need to find another dude. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to have to cross over here. Oh, geez. Okay, well, maybe she can go disarm it at some point. Okay, all right. She can still do this now, or she can move. We're going to have her do a heroic action of an attack. So she is going to roll against, I guess it doesn't matter. What is it, 1 and 3? They're both stabby goblins, and they have the same stats, so whatever. We're going to use her longsword attack. Bang. Okay. So if we use the 5, and then she gets +1 strength roll here, right? So that 5 is really a 6. It's going to go right through a 4 defense. So we got 1 more dead goblin. Then she's going to gain focus for that unused die. The goblin who died is going to give her +3 hit points or a loot token. I think we're going to take the loot token because we can now draw it from here. And I do believe that we take the ruby figurine. That'll give her 3 dice when she's rolling for strength, and she's a beast. Uliessa is saving the day here. Okay, so now she can move again if she... Oh, no, she can't. She can't move. We're done. So she's done. End of turn. We move the time tracker down, and nothing happens this round. We go to Thordin here, who's stuck here with this jerk of a goblin. And he really can't do much else, right? We could move over here. We need to get these goblins down, especially those guys, because they are absolute jerks. And another one's about to spawn here, so let's definitely kill this goblin, the stabby goblin that's in the room with us. We're going to roll all the dice. And what do we need, a 4 to get through there? Perfect. Perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better roll, really, because all I need is a 4 to kill this guy. So let's use the 5 to kill this guy. Then we gain a hit point and a focus. That actually worked out really well. I might want to replace my Final Girl dice with these dice. They're much better to me. All right, and then we have, we can gain 3 hit points. No good. Or an item. So let's take an item again. Basically, we're just shopping for Uliessa at this point. Oh, this is useless for both, I guess. So, yeah. Right? Oh, we could have shield. Oh, no, we didn't have the stuff for it at the time. We do now. Crossbow, right? So we don't really have guys that use missile attacks here. That's a weird one because we could use it. It's not an awful thing for sure, But what do I get rid of? Do I get rid of my attack, my melee attack, which rolls 3 dice, for a ranged attack that only rolls 2 dice? Or do I get rid of my shield bash, which is like a big saving deal when I've got too many goblins in the way? I think we just discard this thing. I don't think that's gonna be the thing. Okay, so Thordin can still move. I do believe we need to find ourselves. We need to find ourselves a. Oh, we can teleport from here over to there and avoid this entirely if we have to, if we need to. So let's go to. Man, we need to find this other minion, and quick, we are running out of time. So let's go. Let's just go one room over and see what happens. Of course, it's a goblin. Okay, so this can go up, I guess. We'll do that. Oop, sorry. I thought I was gonna flip it for some reason. All right, we don't need to explore anymore. Like these 2 rooms, I don't even care about, right? Because we know they're not minions, and we know they're not that. I don't even plan on going to these rooms. So we have takes a point of damage because he got ambushed by a goblin, and then we got to draw. Oh no, a goblin. Oh gosh. Okay. He's gonna get hit. Oh no, next round is spawn. I thought next round was attack. Okay. Next round is spawn a goblin. So we're right back to 1,000,000 goblins. Okay. All right, so that's gonna end his turn. Thordin is done. We go down, we move the time tracker down, we spawn yet another goblin right here in the entrance, and we have that, a pokey goblin. Ugh. Okay, Uliessa, make it happen. Make it happen. All right, what are we going to do? So I actually have these little things here that I going to help me keep track. I don't care about those rooms. I'm trying to work on process of elimination here because we're running out of time. We need to find a minion and we need to kill it to gain the time. And then we need to get to the door to flip the mat to Act 2. So we have a lot of work here to deal with. So let's go with, God, we have 3 goblins out on the board again. I have no clue where that minion card might be. Let's roll for, do we move 1 space? Let me think about this now. Do we move 1 space? And then do we have Uliessa here? Do we have her do Dungeon Scry again? What is Goblin number 2 going to do? He's going to blow us up for 2 points of damage. We can take the hit. It's not going to be nice, but we can take the hit. This guy's going to hit way harder, right? Goblin number 3. He's going to hit for 3 points of damage. So I think we kill the pokey. Okay, so we're going to cast Dungeon Scry. That's what we're going to do here. And again, we rolled like garbage, but just barely good enough, right? So we rolled 3, we don't need this, 3, 4, 5, so just barely good enough to get Dungeon Scry off. So that's going to let us pay 2 focus to then flip a tile. I'm really curious to see what this is. Okay. Nothing. There's just, that's okay, but that means we know the minion is down here now. Basically, I didn't want to run down the dungeon and need to be up here. So we did that. We did the reveal. Now we can do another heroic action, which is going to be our long sword attack. We are going to do that against the goblin number 3 that is in our space. And that is all the dice now because we have the +1 from the ruby figurine. Against, what did I say? 3? So we need, a 6. Okay, so there is good enough, I think, right? Because we have a 5 here, and it's a +1 because of the sword that she has. So that's a, oh no, but we need more than that. We need more than that. We need a 7 to do the damage. Wait a second here. So, well, there's 2 ways of going about this, and neither way really matters, I guess, because it's kind of a wash, right? If I spend 2 focus to manipulate this 5 to a 6, oh, well, if I make this 3 a 2, I guess it works better. Okay, right, so if I make that 3 a 2, that gives us the 7 that we need to kill the Pokey Goblin, right? Right, because I can't add 1 to it. Right, I have to have an addition here somewhere, so it's got to be that way. It's got to be that way. So that becomes 5, 6, 7. 8, really, because we still get the +1 here. But the 6 wasn't enough. So we have our 7 here to kill this guy, but we gain a focus because of that. But then our loot is... Oh yeah, this was the perfect guy to kill. I didn't even realize that. So this is the guy that lets us reveal a dungeon tile and take a loot card. Okay, whew. All right, that's great. So let's reveal a tile and take a loot card. Now for her loot card, I think we're taking the Robes of the Phoenix to start, right? Because this generates us... Oh no, she doesn't... Oh, we don't have either of the Phoenix yet. Oh no. But this lets her teleport around. Oh no. Okay, well I guess we're going to take the ring first. So we'll take the ring just in case we take a spell here. And one of the things that we're going to want to do with our spells is maybe get rid of Dungeon Scry once we can find the guy. Because then we need to find a damaging spell, right? We're going to want a way to do some damage here. So Uliessa managed to kill goblin number 3 with a spell with Dungeon Scry, and then... Oh, and we still haven't flipped one over for... Oh, that was like a win-win-win, right? We flipped that over with Dungeon Scry. Then we killed that guy who gave us a loot draw and a flip. So let's just see. Is it this one? Nope. Dang it. That's a goblin, though. See, here's the problem. There's goblins everywhere in this place. It's infested. Okay, so... And then our last dungeon tile will go here. And we know that's not someplace that I even care to look at, right? I don't care. We need to burn this down. Those X's are reminding me those 3 cards, were with this because they were in the final 4, and I know that they're not what we want. Okay, so that was a lot of stuff to do. Where is that minion? Okay, so Uliessa, I guess she's done, right? I mean, we can't really do anything else. We did a bunch of stabbing. I think we're kind of stuck. So let's go ahead and move this back to Thordin. We'll drop the torch, and now we got to do some pain here. So goblin number 1 is going to move and attack. Oh, that's a bummer. So he's going to do 1 damage to both guys because they're both within range of 2, it looks like, right? So there's a damage there. There's a damage there. Goblin number 2 is the Boomy Goblin. He's going to move or attack within a range of 2, 1, 2. So only she gets hit for 2. She's down to 1 hit point. Oh, no. And then, this jerk is move or attack in his room, so he's going to move to her space. Ouch, Uliessa is hurting. Okay, back to Thordin. Oh, who doesn't have enough focus to just wipe a goblin off the face of the planet. Okay, which is a real bummer. Good news, though, that we don't have to come down here. I don't want to make this trek. This is terrible. We need to focus. We need to move in the same direction because we're running out of time to kill this minion. So I think we're going to go 1, 2. Who does the most damage here? Is it number 3? Yeah, this guy's a monster. So if we stand right here and we do a melee attack with Thordin. Ooh, I like this. I like this a lot, actually. Mainly because, what am I killing? Number 3? Okay, so I like this a lot for a couple reasons. So number 1 is I only need a 5 to kill it, and it has a defense of 4, right? So this 5 is going to kill this goblin. That's going to supercharge Thordin with his focus there, right? Boom, we're back to maximum. And then our reward is +3 hit points or a loot item. And at this point, I don't know. Thordin has the worst luck drawing loot. But we need it, but we also could top ourselves off. So let's just take 3... Well, let's take the loot card. An amethyst figure. We're going to equip it. It does give him +1 to intelligence rolls, which he could at least use. At least he can use this. So it's something. It's something. Okay. So Thordin now... it's a bummer. I wish I could move 1 more space to take this stinking goblin out, but I can't. So Thordin's done. We're going to lower the time. Nothing happens. Uliessa here needs to make some magic happen. She really does. So if we go 1... Oh, this is a trapped room in here, too. God, that's a trapped room, and that's a portal room. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! And she has 1 hit point. She might need to rest. This is ugly. This is ugly. Oh, God, but we got to kill these goblins. So we're going to go 1 space into here. She is going to roll for the trap first, so it doesn't matter if we roll strength or whatever. It's going to be 3 dice no matter what. So we survived. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, so we survived. If we do the 6 to say we won, we get +3 there, so we're at 4. Okay, so we survived. We're in the room with the goblin. We're going to attack the goblin. No, we're going to Dungeon Scry. We have to, yeah, we're going to cast Dungeon Scry because it allows us to do the thing anyway. So we're going to do Dungeon Scry, so we don't need the red die. We're just going to try to cast a spell. What do I need? Oh, hey, that was good. I only need a 5. Boom. Dungeon Scry successful. We just healed for 2. Back up to 3 hit points. We get to flip a no, we have to pay 2, 1, 2, and flip a tile now. So let's flip way down here. What the heck is this? This is a trapped room. We're just gonna leave that like it is. Okay, then we can do a heroic action of stabbing this idiot. We're gonna stab this guy here. Boom. All right. Looking tough. What is his defense? He's goblin number 2. His defense is 4. So, oh, that's so tempting to use a 6, but I kind of like the free healing too. Oh, we have to unless I change that. Okay, so we're going to use a 6 to kill him. So then we gain 1 hit point and 1 focus. And for our loot, we can draw a new card or something discarded. We're going to take the Robes of the Phoenix. And the reason why we're doing that is because now she can teleport as a free action at the cost of 2. And if we cast a spell, it's going to give us +1 focus. I like it. Okay, so it's 1 more dead goblin. Woo! All right. Now, she has, yeah, we're kind of out of things that she can do. She can't move. We can do a free action. We could teleport. She could teleport somewhere, but there's really no good place for her to go to. We're running out of time. So she is done. We're going to drop the torch here, and this is going to cause us to spawn a goblin right on Thordin. That is this jerk, and Thordin now. We need to get incredibly lucky at this point, right? We have to discover this guy and attack and kill him. So basically it comes down to which one of these do we think is our man? Which one is a minion? Because if we can't find it this turn, she might not find it next turn, and then we lose the game. So let's go... God, and he has to come into a trap room somehow. So this one's a 6, that one's a 7. So we're going to go down to the 6, and we're going to do a strength check on the trapped room. We failed. Uh-oh. Can we make this work somehow? We're going to pay 1, 2 to make this 3 a 2. No. If we leave the 3 a 3, and we make the 5 a 6, we succeed. And we gain +2 stuff. So we're kind of right back where we were. It was kind of janky, but, we're not dead. And then we're going to move. We just have to guess. I'm going to move over here. Right? Let's see. No goblin, no goblin, no goblin. Oh, man, it's a trapped room again. Okay, here's a strength check. We need a 7. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that was terrible. Holy smokes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to get +3. No, he's just going to take 2 damage. 1, 2. And then, so he's only moved 1, 2. He can move 1 more. That's not going to do him any good. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. He can get to anywhere from there, so he's just going to stay there, I guess. That's terrible. And you don't gain the stuff, like the extra stuff here on a failed roll. He hasn't done a heroic action yet. So I guess maybe he just rests for 3, takes him up to 5, and now he's done. I think we've just lost this. So we're going to roll this down, and now all the bad guys are going to activate. So this guy can move 2 spaces, 1, 2. He can attack a range of 2, 1 damage. So 1 damage, 1 damage. This guy is move or attack 2. He's also within range, so he's going to do 2 damage to each hero. 1, 2, 1, 2. She's at 1 hit point. So the only way to not lose this is for Uliessa to walk into the room with the minion and one-shot it. That's the only way that we're going to win this. So it's going to come down to just guessing. So we're going to have her move over here. That was a goblin. That's going to force end our movement, and we just lost the game. Because now we have a goblin number 3 out here, and we can't move anymore. Oh, Huge, huge, upsetting bummer for us. There's just no way to gain any more movement. We could teleport over to here, but that doesn't do us any good. One of these two things was a minion. I mean, at best, she can kill the goblin in her room. What does that do for her? That gets her a loot and 3 health, which isn't going to get us a movement or a reveal is what we really needed. If we could reveal it, she could then teleport over there and fight the other guy. Nope, she wouldn't have an attack, though, because we're about to roll the attack. So we are at. That's it. We did not even get to Act 2. Oh, one of those was a 2. I hit it. Okay, so what is the life on this thing? Or a defense of 4, so I need 5. So she would gain 2. This thing would die. She would gain 3 hit points, puts her at 4. And then we end her turn, and the torch goes out, and the heroes lose the game. Where was that guy? Not there. It was right there. Ah, that's what we needed to uncover and destroy. This guy right here. That here. I've even got a thing to remind me there. Now that was terrible because then we would have had to get over here. Now we can teleport with her, and Thordin would have been able to run up here and teleport over there, which would be great, but then we would have to drag the boss through these rooms to get these altars to allow the boss, and I'm not even going to reveal it because it doesn't matter. Well, we should find out. We were going to be fighting the Pharaoh, it looks like, who's a lot of green, so it's not going to show up very good here on the green screen. We were going to be fighting the Pharaoh. This is a lot of fun. I mean, for my first real playthrough of this, like a full game, not winning was still exciting. It still feels good. And when you open this door, you have to kill both minions before you can open that door. You flip this over to Act 2, and it resets your time. So we would have plenty of time to fight the boss and drag him through the dungeon to get these. Oh yeah, see, he had 2 altar symbols, so we would have had to drag him through that and then through that. The other altar symbol would have been way down here. How crazy. That's a ton of fun, though. We're going to have to play this some more. I enjoy it a lot. We're going to maybe try some new heroes. I really enjoyed Team Dwarven Superiority here, but, maybe we get I don't know, a magic user and an agility guy in here or something next time and see how that goes. So that was me failing miserably at Tiny Epic Dungeons. Yeah, a lot of fun. Thanks. And remember, games are made for everyone's recreation. We'll see you later.